I think our relationship started with Women's World Bank in FSD about 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago, when we were looking at different opportunities in Nigeria beyond our traditional middle market and corporate banking. Was if we were going to go into where the great opportunities were, where we saw the future of Nigeria, small businesses, the unbanked, we needed to work with people who had done this in other parts of the country, in the world. And they're beyond. It wasn't a case of capital, it was a case of expertise and technical expertise. And those were the partners who came with different new models for us to use in this market to achieve what we wanted to achieve.
Now, at the heart of this partnership is the need to improve financial inclusion and, of course, financial growth. Is this what it is, or is there much more to it?
I think there's much more. We're just scratching the surface. So, I mean, our partnership has yielded about 2 or 3 products that has actually generated about 1 million more people coming into being financially included, and should I say, from moving from underbanked, underbanked to properly banked. And I think the whole idea is, first of all, creating that awareness, and also it's not about, because everyone is doing their financial activities every day, but providing a better financial infrastructure that allows them to do transactions more securely, but more importantly, to also save and invest for the future, invest for their families, which they're not able to do when you are in a fully cash economy, where whatever you make, you put in your pocket and you go home, and then before the next day, it's actually gone. So it's more about actually transforming lives and giving people better hope for the next day.
Talk us through the products that have actually developed from this partnership in the past 5 years and how it's impacting lives today, especially SMEs. Okay,
so I mean, the 2 I will come to mind is our better proposition, which is our market proposition, and basically it was about taking banking to the marketplace and also displacing the traditional system of finance that they had before, which was the adjust system, because that was unsecure, that was insecure, and also they didn't know what would happen tomorrow. So what we did was take banking to them, because banking hours never suited them, and also take agents that understood the market, but use technology as well to ensure that we could bank them in a very cost-effective manner. So it was a mobile-first approach, using a banking system, very, very effective. What we saw there was 500,000 new customers in the space of under 2 years, and balances that were similar to what was in the bank. So really demystifying the notion that being on the bank didn't mean, or a bottom of the pyramid didn't mean that you were poor. It just means that there were no bankable solutions for you, which we have actually provided. And the second one, it actually has to be our small business proposition, where I think we all know what small businesses need: access to finance, access to advisory services, and access to markets. And what we've done there is focus on 2 areas, which is access to finance, which is lending based on cash flow and not just collateral, because collateral is the second way out. And most times the collateral, even perfecting collateral is increases the cost of the transaction. So if we could better understand the business, if we could better understand the cash flow, then we would actually be able to lend to them safely, and we get our money back and lend to them in a very cost-effective manner, cheaper than they would in an alternative way. And we're making good roads into that. And the use of technology as well, in terms of how they're getting their payment from cash to electronic, is also helping the story along, and people also see the benefits in actually doing that. So we're de-risking the whole infrastructure and being able to lend them in a cost-effective manner.
Talking about lending, 30% of those who've actually benefited from this are women-owned businesses. Now, is that a deliberate strategy to empower women, or is it the fact that you actually tend to find more women on this, chain?
No, I think, what we found, so we took a product called Better Proposition to the market, and we have, I think, 43% men and 37% women actually using the solution. So the most important thing is that we've actually provided services to more people, because there's strength in diversity. But we've also brought more women that wouldn't have come on. But it was certainly a deliberate strategy. It has to be a deliberate strategy. So even in terms of the people that go, our better agents, there are more women there than there are men. Even in terms of the marketing and awareness and which pictures go on the flyer, it has to be women as well. And even the story is women, because women, as far as are concerned, are very fundamental to the economy. They're a key value chain, because they take decisions in terms of what happens in the family, what happens in terms of student education. So it's very, very important that we understand their needs, understand their journey, so that we can now build a solution. And I think that is what Women's World Banking brought to the table, that expertise, that thought leadership of this is the customer's journey, and this is how we can build solutions that are beyond banking to actually bring them into the fold.
Interesting. Just give us a peek into the future in terms of your further partnership with Women's World Banking and FSDA.
So I think I think first of all, we're going to be leveraging more on technology. As you know, we get more democratization and the cost of technology goes down. So how we use these solutions to try to provide better solutions in terms of marketing for women, advisory services, and also reach as well. And also, but the most important thing for us is how we're going to use that technology to educate people so they to know is to trust is to use. And so if we can do that in a cost-effective manner, then we can actually bring more people and scale the proposition of bringing more millions of Nigerian women into banking.